has come to my motherfucking goddamn gay attention that 215 unmarked graves was discovered behind a prison in Mississippi. It has also come to my motherfucking goddamn gay attention that the Jewish in New York have a secret tunnel that was disguised as a soiled mattress. And neither one of those things I'm gonna fucking read. I don't know who you're used to viewing, especially my new people. I don't know who you're used to pandering with this psychic thing. But when it comes to myself, I have a code of ethics and a code of conduct with the things that I do participate in. Imagine this. Imagine that your loved one has been missing and they discover that there are unmarked graves in the prison in which he was inhabited. You log on the internet and see someone you don't know pulling tarot cards on the situation, and you just found out your loved one was missing and buried in an unmarked grave. How disrespectful is that? Let's first talk about this. Everything isn't clickbait. When I read nationwide stories, it is the portrayal that celebrity is putting out for the general public, or whether a blog or something else. It deals with the archetype of their performance being elicited on social media, and that is fair game for me to read. I was conflicted about this because I only started reading celebrity gossip in the 3rd season of my show. That was 5 years ago. And at first I wasn't going to do it because I felt like it was very intrusive and invasive to the celebrity that I was reading. I then got from Spirit that you're not reading that person, you're reading the portrayal of that person, so that's fair game. Now, when you're dealing with life and death, such as, let's go back last year when Takeoff took off and he passed away, God rest his soul, you know. And there were psychics from left and right just trying to read the situation like 24 hours after this man has died. Do you guys think about, like, the sanctity of spirit? This man is transitioning, and all of a sudden he's hearing all of these messages on the other side from people that he does not know, trying to get information on what happened to him. That's from a spiritual perspective. But from a person-to-person perspective, if a loved one, friend, or family member does not ask me about somebody who is recently departed, I will not read them. That's not to say that I don't read them in private settings, okay? But that is not for public consumption. It's not. I worked with the sheriff department here in Charlotte, North Carolina on a consistent basis. Shout out to Officer Williams. He also told me to stop posting when I work with them. So I do some work behind the scenes that you guys definitely do not see. And it does deal with the liberation of the hearts and minds of people who are confused about what happened to their loved ones. But that is not for public consumption. The one time I did do that was with Naya Rivera's body. And Amber Riley, who is a client of mine, asked me publicly. So I answer her publicly. But when it comes to people that you don't know, and for the sake of being nosy, I will not officiate your cravings by disrespecting somebody who has just recently found out or who has recently lost their loved one. I just I think that needs to set a precedent for other psychics that are up and coming. I mean, just because we're on social media doesn't mean that you can just do whatever the hell you want to do, especially when it comes to spirit. See, if you move in just with spirit, spirit can strike you down, strip you of your gifts, or make you feel the energy that you have been trying to channel more abundantly. And it can be devastating to you. And then you call an OG psychic in the game to get your ass back together so you can continue to service your girls. Okay, all of this can be solved if you simply ask spirit, can you read something before you actually do it? Because I guarantee spirit is going to tell you what you can and cannot read. At least mine does. I don't know who you serve. About the code of conduct. Don't be asking me no questions about no deceased people on a public forum. If it deals with dead bodies, if it deals with anything like that, you ask the investigators on that case about that. You don't ask me about that, Wendy.
Who are you talking to?
To you, Whitney.
Ask me no questions like I'm a child. Y'all want to know what I'm doing all the time. I don't give a shit about what you're doing all the time. You are so nosy, man. You don't even know what I do. Like you said, you never met me. You don't know me. You ain't been in my house. You don't live with me. You don't sleep with me. You don't do shit with me, but talk about me. So watch what you say. Watch what the you say. And if I was really like back in the day in New York, I'd meet you outside. But I'm a lady and I have a class.
I miss and love Whitney Houston so much. So secondly, this Jewish situation, of course, it's been getting sent to me. You guys want me to discuss it, and I won't. Particularly because we all know that the Jewish individuals suffered through a Holocaust. We all know that, correct? Like, I mean,
you know what?
Yeah, we know. If you don't know, I mean, so. In the context of this, a disenfranchised people who were gassed, burned, beaten, enslaved, their ancestors are very upset, okay? And from a religious standpoint, when you're dealing with any group of religious people as an oracle, it would be very disrespectful for me to elicit my belief system on their belief system, especially in the light of some controversy that involves the entire Jewish community. You got to move with respect. You got to think about things before you ask me to do things, okay? My spirit is not going to be jeopardized by the angry Jewish spirits on the other side that suffered through years of persecution. Black people are the same way. However, we are Americanized black people, and it's typically easier for me to tap into that outside of the barrier of your ancestors, okay? So I say that to say this. Don't be asking me about no Jewish people. Don't be asking me about no Satanists. If it deals with a group of religious people, I have enough respect for what I do and for what I've built to say I don't want y'all embellishing upon me, just like Jehovah's Witnesses knocking on your door, so I am not going to knock on your door with my tarot. Jewish people, I wish you well. Lastly, my girl Alonzo Arnold showed up. She showed up on a post yesterday. You guys can still see it because it's very fresh out the Bootz Tarot pipe or whatever. And she asked, why did Spirit tell me that I can't read a specific individual when I am doing nationwide stories? Now, look, back in the day, I used to didn't care. I used to didn't ask Spirit if I can read or if I couldn't read. I just read. But then I found myself suffering some spiritual consequences on the back end. And I know, how long have you guys been watching the show? Because you've seen me tap into something and it affected me to the point I actually had to end the fucking show. You know what I'm saying? When Spirit tells me no, it can be a multitude of different things. Alonzo asks, does that mean that they have power? Not necessarily, but it could mean that they have power. It could mean that my ancestors are telling me you do not want to involve yourself with that energy or tap into it because some things can linger back into your reality. It could be that individuals' ancestors saying, no, we see you, we see what you're trying to do, and there is no information here. The average individual does have guardian angels, but I always come in peace and love, so typically they open up the gate and let me read, okay? So... But when you're dealing with celebrity, especially with the conspiracy that I just dropped, they know what's up. So they, of course, set up parameters to where it's going to be a slight bit confusing. Your bloodline can also do this. If you come from a bloodline of witches, warlocks, or anybody that used the occult or magical practitioner, then 9 times out of 10 that you have a covering over you that I have to appease before I can even get into you. All of this is done within 2 seconds of me saying, hello, how are you doing? Welcome to your session with Bootz Tarot. In the 2 seconds when you answer that phone, okay, or in the 2 seconds that I get prompted with a question, all of this happens like instantaneously. My guides approach them. We approach them with offerings of love and light. They say yes or they say no, or they really just don't give a damn. Okay. Now everybody does have guardian ancestors, and typically they are appeased by the embellishing upon my spirit. But sometimes in situations they are not, especially if it's unbeknownst to the public figure that I'm reading. Okay. So when spirit says no, there could be a multitude of different things. Now in Vivica's case, I pulled the devil card. That means I would have tapped into something that could have affected me negatively on the back end. And just for the sake of reading something, I'm not going to be affected on the back end. I'm trying to put something in my back end. How you doing? Oh my God.
How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Okay. And that's no shade. Put it in the back end and say, hey.
Hey!
Woo, that'll do it. You don't have to worry about me. You do not have to worry about me.
Okay. Also, let's talk about code of conduct as well. I'm not your friend. I am a service provider unto you. Okay, now that's not to say that my clients aren't closer than some people in my physical reality. But after an appointment, don't be texting me updates about your business. I have completely forgotten about what we talked about. And it's funny funny because I remember what we talk about upon our next appointment. I do not know. I have a multitude of different endeavors when it comes to servicing the general public. Okay, so after a text message ring, I hit send. I have completely forgotten about what I just read, and I move on to the next. If I was to catalog it in my mind, I mean, I would basically be in a mental institution already. Okay, so don't be texting me back and forth about your business because I have forgotten. You're going to have to remind me what we spoke of and what I actually read on you sometimes. Now, sometimes it comes flooding back. Now, it's funny because when I don't remember and you ask me the same question over again, it's always the same answer. Raise your hand if I've done that with you. But it gets confusing, though, because I am so personable with my business, but I'm here to service you. 2 years ago, I had a girl who was on my schedule every single day, and I had to tell her, baby, I appreciate the coinage, I appreciate the attention and the love, but you're basically paying for me to be your friend, and I'm here to render a service, okay? So when you get a reading, you need to let that reading set in a little bit before coming back to see your mother, and don't be bothering mother about your business after I read you. However, that's not to say that you can't consistently get text message readings because different situations come up. But this girl was on my schedule every day asking about money, and I'm like, well, you're spending all of your money on me, and now I feel guilty, so you got to go. Also, real quick, let's talk about why readings miss their mark, okay? The typical reason why readings miss their mark is because people are over anticipating what I'm saying. A reading is supposed to embellish you. It's supposed to hit you like when you open up the automatic doors to the mall into a wintry scene. It should hit you, and then you're supposed to continue to live your life. Some of y'all say, oh my God, Bootz said I'm gonna meet a man on January the 27th. You sitting up there on your phone looking around where your man ain't trying to wait on your Amazon package to see if that's your new nigga. Baby. Overly anticipating the development of something is going to snuff the energy out. The energy changes because you are now anticipating what I'm saying and not living your experience, okay? It's not my job to dictate what is going to happen in your life. It is my job to foresee what is going to happen and for you to better prepare yourself for that. So if you over anticipate something, I say you can snuff the energy out. Also, some of y'all is motherfucking damn cursed. Can we talk about that? Y'all's energy is so inconsistent but I'm the best at what I do, so I can typically deduce chaos and say this is how it's going to develop for you. But you got to first show up and still live your life, not based upon my words, okay? And second, you have to understand if your energy is being dissuaded by another force or karmic repercussions in those questions that I can answer for you as well, okay? So those are just some general ways of how I do things, okay? And I hope it is received well. It's not meant to be shady or anything like that. It's just I feel like this is so new to some people that they have to understand how it works, okay? I am the very best at what I do, but I also do miss sometimes, okay? And there's a reason why I miss, and it's so interesting that even if I miss with you, you still come back to me because you know that something has shifted. Energy shifts will produce missed results, but baby, I'm the best, and I basically have a 98% correct rate. The last time I checked from last year's analytics, 98%. So fuck with the best today. And don't ever feel like you're getting on my fucking nerves. Okay? You can ask me about the same nigga over and over and over again. I will never judge you. And what makes me, and I'm gonna say this, what makes me the best is because I have lived through a multitude of experiences that are common to you. You can't have somebody read you who has not lived, darling. Because they don't have an energetic reference to what it is that you are talking about, okay? So if you see me, if you don't see me, whoever you see, make sure they resonate with you. And this code of conduct should assist you with whomever you choose to participate in with psychic readings. Now let's talk about the pop. Let me tell y'all something real quick, going back to code of conduct, okay? Spiritualists don't fuck with each other. I'm in my lane, they're in their lane. She has to guide, I have to guide, and we rarely interact with one another. So please don't send me anybody else or talk to me about anybody else. Just talk to me about your motherfucking goddamn gay boots, okay? And let me me correct that. We don't not fuck with each other. We're just busy servicing the girls. And if two people are servicing a population of individuals, what the hell would we collaborate our philosophies? I don't know who that is, but I hope she does good work out here. And thank you for bringing her name up to me. Don't bring nobody else's name up to me. Do that anyway. You know, if you get your hair done by somebody, why would you go down there and say, oh, well, I got my hair done by them? Like, why don't you just get their work on you? I'm not that type of bitch. I don't understand that type of person. I mean, hell, if you got good service over here, why the hell are you taking that service that that person did to this person talking about the service that they just did on you? That's called messy. Messy. I don't deal with all that mess.